I'll do my first tarot reading here today with the Waiter's Meat pack. But first, I want to talk about something that was on the news. Like Trump invaded Venezuela and arrested their president, Maduro, who is a tyrant, but that's not what I want to talk about. So at a personal level, these two men are sociopathic and narcissistic, but at the state's level, Trump invaded a sovereign country to steal their oil. That's clear as daylight. And this is pretty bad because it can establish a precedent and it can inspire other countries such as China to occupy Taiwan, for example. Both US and China are in the UN Security Council. And so if they do go for it, they would suffer no consequences because they have a right to veto the sanctions that could come from the UN Council. Considering this, I thought, why are we led for millennia by sociopathic and narcissistic men? And I think there's a certain fascination to it. We are attracted by how these people go for their dreams, and they are fearless. They seem fearless in attaining what they want, and we either vote for them and live vicariously through what they achieve and the way they go for their dreams and achieve status and power, or we go against that and also tend to deny the same need and the same thirst for power in ourselves. For example, I think I think that my dream is different from achieving status and power, but I might be wrong. So my dream is to have a reforestation project where I just take a barren land and reforest it with local flora. And at the same time, I realized that my real big dream is to have a global network of reforestation projects where I am the boss, although the network or the project is not hierarchical and is actually decentralized. So this is a big paradox. I want power and status and recognition for what I do, but at the same time, this would be in a place where a boss wouldn't be needed. We have it in ourselves to desire fearlessness, and I think I was the most fearless when I actually was in the most fear. When I was a kid, my father is an alcoholic, and when I was a kid, he would get drunk and come home and create these monstrous scandals, and I really was afraid for my life and for my family's life. I mean, my mother and my brother. And out of this fear, I would jump into action and I would try to lighten his mood, to cheer him up, or to just calm him down. And I noticed that this fear was actually moving me into love before it was moving me into action. It was happening very fast, but this was the transmutation from fear to love, and then love would put me into action. I was fawning, of course, to calm my father down, but it was an action. And right now, I think the world, we experience the world two polarities. Like there's ugliness and beauty. You cannot define beauty without knowing what's ugly. If you would have only beauty, you wouldn't know what's ugly. So you wouldn't know what's beauty because you wouldn't know. Yeah. And so I think it's like this, even with fear and courage. Actually, it is like this with fear and courage too. You cannot have courage if you don't have fear, It's usually like that. When you do something and it stands for courage, it means that you move from fear to courage. The opposite of fear is not courage, it's actually love. And when you are very close to that extreme fear, you can pull yourself, like shot an arrow on the other side of the spectrum and land into pure love. And from that point, you can take radical action, and sometimes that's close to superpowers. Like, I'm thinking of these moms who derail trains, or I don't know, lift cars when their kids are in danger. Their extreme fear moves them into extreme love, and then they become supernatural. I don't know, very powerful. And when I'm saying this, I realize that as opposed to sociopaths and narcissists who do take constant action but don't experience fear to that extreme and don't experience love to that high degree either, the only thing that they're doing differently from normies or semi-normies, people that don't have sociopathic tendencies or narcissistic behavior, full-blown narcissistic behavior, they are less powerful than normies, just that they are more constant. So if I would act out of that power, for example with the reforestation project, if I would be fearful enough to push myself into love, I would take rightful action and make this a reality. But and actually this is an extreme emergency, climate change. It's an emergency for me, for you, for our families, but I don't live with that close fear like this will happen in a second if I don't take this action. So I have to reach to that level where a narcissistic person or a sociopathic person reaches, because they don't have so much fear but they don't have so much love, and they just do it because they don't have so much fear. I could reach that same, sorry, this stopped. So I was saying that if I were motivated enough or fearful enough, I would push myself into love and into rightful action, but I am not. Although you can also argue against it and say that who would want to live in that perpetual state of fear, survival fear? But our brains are wired like that. My brain is wired for survival, so we are already living this. I think we can see and go for our dreams with that intensity if we see it as urgent and as really, really necessary. And now I'm gonna shuffle some cards. And I'm thinking the only way forward with anything is to, push ourselves into that extreme love where everything is possible. And a tool for that would be to fall into extreme fear. And I'm gonna now shuffle some cards with the purpose of answering what's not clear for me at the moment. I'm just shuffling for myself. I'm not doing it for other people because I don't know other people right now. I'm not reading for any collective because I care about myself for now with this reading. Okay? I actually think that the collective readings are bullshit because we are so particular, and I specifically want stuff to know about myself. Okay, King of Pentacles. Okay, so we got the King of Pentacles. I'm gonna shuffle one more card to clear this up. Okay. And then I'm gonna read them together because I prefer to read them together. Okay. All right, and the other one is a Chariot. Okay. These are both masculine energy, so the King of Pentacles and the Chariot, and I don't interpret them always in a masculine way, but now they feel so. So I would interpret them as it follows. The King of Pentacles stands for the right to own material things and to feel entitled to material things. This guy looks a bit clownish though, because he has this, you see, this circle of Christmas balls, I don't know what it is, around him, but also there's the city in the background. So yes, this stands for the right for material rights, and you know this saying, like, but I want the confidence of a white mediocre man. This guy looks like a white sociopathic man. He's a king, so he must be sociopathic and narcissistic. And this goes very well. This goes very well into the reading, like this goes very well into the reading, because we were talking exactly about how these people rule the world. These men rule the world because they feel like they are fearless, but then again, to lead with purpose and to continue your straight line into life is to consider the good and the evil, the yin and the yang, or we can consider this the opposite poles, like the fear and the love. And we are standing in the middle and taking the right action out of this position. This is the perfect reading. I could have tricked the cards, but I hadn't. Yeah, this stands for going out of the woods and on the road while taking the right actions, considering both polarities of a situation and leading. And this stands for taking what's ours or what's mine with the confidence of a narcissistic and sociopathic white king. This is also a white man. They are all white in this Rider Tarot card. Yep, that's the reading.